Nations rising and falling are not the sign. Kingdoms rising and falling are not the sign. Famines, plagues, earthquakes, persecutions are not the sign. So don't say, oh, look at all the wars in the world. The end must be near. Look at all the earthquakes. The end must be near. No, Jesus says those are not the sign. The sign is the tribulation. This period of time identified as the tribulation. And there's really three components to this sign. This is a three-piece sign of the coming kingdom and the Lord's return. Let's look at these three pieces to the sign: abomination, tribulation, and impersonation. First, the abomination of desolation. The book of Revelation describes this tribulation period also as 7 years. The same time period is used again. In the middle of that 7 years, John writes in Revelation, there will be a false prophet who rises up and takes over the temple. He will command the world to worship the image of a beast, a dragon that comes out of the ocean is John's imagery. This Antichrist will command that the world worship this false Messiah. John says in Revelation, he will annihilate those that don't. And then John says the Antichrist will turn against Israel, violate the covenant with Israel, and execute those that refuse to worship him. Now that we know that the Antichrist in the temple is the abomination of desolation, what are we supposed to do with that information? That's kind of like asking, suppose you're in an airplane at 30,000 feet and the airplane disintegrates. What are you supposed to do? The Lord knows this is going to happen. He's telling us about this. This is prophecy. He knows it will happen. And his advice to you, run, run, run. If you're a Christian for one reason and one reason only, that God chose you from before the foundations of time. He saved you. The 144,000 who survived for one reason and one reason only. God chose them to. They are his elect. And if it wasn't for them, nobody would survive. But because of them, God shuts this tribulation down. The third piece is the impersonation that we see. These false Christs are going to show you many signs and many wonders, and they're going to be so persuasive that people are going to believe them. Now, how do you know that they're not the real Messiah? Well, because the real Messiah does two things that these guys don't. Two signs of the true Messiah. First, the real Messiah brings judgment on sin. He's the one sending sinners to their death and to hell, proclaiming Scripture with grace and truth written all over him. That's the real Messiah. The second thing the real Messiah does is offer forgiveness of sins for those who put their faith in him, for those who believe that he died in their place, for those who believe that Jesus died on the cross, lived a perfect life, died in your place, and that when you put your faith in him, you're rescued. That's what the real Messiah does, judges sin and forgives sin. You're not going to get snatched away by a false Messiah because God keeps his people. Those that claim to be the Messiah are lying, but God will protect his own children. Nobody can snatch them away.
Have you ever been so blessed and energized by a message you just want to share it with the world? Well, you're in luck. All Sunday messages are made available every Monday morning. It is Immanuel's vision and hope that you use these resources to share them with individuals in your network. Share some of your favorite sermons today. Find them all at ibcva.com/teaching. Thank you for sharing the message of Christ.